Hey, Monarchs. I want to talk to you today about self love. And that's a tough topic. For some of you, you're cringing just hearing that because you can't even conceptualize the thought that you would ever love yourself. And therein lies our problem. When I'm talking with people about their struggles with food and that need to either comfort themselves, distract themselves, or most often punish themselves with food, it stems from a lack of self love. I belong to a variety of eating disorder groups on Facebook, and one of the admins posted the question, do you love yourself? And the overwhelming response was, hell no, I hate myself. Are you kidding? What a dumb question. And it's heartbreaking, but it's true. For those of us that struggle with disordered eating, there's a base problem where we just don't love who we are. Something from our past, something we were taught, something that was said to us, something we watched, something affected our ability to love who we are, accept our imperfections as part of our uniqueness and what makes us who we are. And instead look at everything we do as never good enough. So that way, when we do struggle with food, all we feel is self-disgust and shame, and the self-talk is crazy negative, and our entire value as a human being gets lost in this one event that we can't let go of. And it's because we just don't love ourselves. So this is a huge topic because until we can learn our worth, until we can change the thoughts in our heads, change the words that we say to ourselves in our mind and out loud, it's not until then that we'll be able to consistently change our behaviors with and without food. Because until we treat ourselves with love, all we have is the option to treat ourselves with hate or antipathy. And neither of those serve us. And so if you're struggling over and over and over again with food, with guilt, with shame, with overeating, with binging, with food addiction, with emotional eating, this stems from a base problem of self-love. And so I urge you to stop. Stop the behavior of beating yourself up. Stop the behavior of choosing the next fad diet. Stop spending any money, even with me. Stop spending any money with anyone until you journal. Stop and journal. Write the question at the top of the page. Do you love you? And figure out, what do you feel? What's your initial reaction? When you make a mistake, how do you respond to yourself? How is your ability to live in the gray area and not inside this strict structure of everything or nothing? How willing are you to treat yourself with compassion? How willing are you to treat mistakes with humor? How willing are you to forgive yourself versus saying, well, fuck it, I messed up, I'm worth nothing? Journal about that. Figure out where you're at on that spectrum, and then figure out your willingness to move away from that feeling. Because you may recognize you hate yourself, but that's only step one. Step two, which is the more important step, is being willing to stop. I know plenty of people that know they don't like themselves. They can't necessarily articulate why, or they don't want to face it. What they do know is that it is a root safety blanket. It's something that they've just invested themselves in, and they're unwilling to shed the blanket. And until you're willing to learn how to love yourself, until you're willing to change your thoughts, your words, your behaviors, no matter where you place your money, no matter where you place your attention, you will eventually fail. You may succeed for a time because you'll be able to focus on the logistics of whatever it is, but then your mind's going to take over. And because you don't love you, you will no longer be a priority. You will no longer be able to forgive mistakes. You will no longer be able to put yourself first and do what it takes to take care of yourself. And so you have to start first with understanding, Do you love you? And if you don't, are you willing to start?